Good day everyone, this is Teacher Cherry. In this video, we will learn about laws of radicals. We will derive the laws of radicals and we will simplify radical expressions using the laws of radicals. Let us have first a review. In our previous lesson, we learned that rational exponent can be written as a raised to m over n is equal to the nth root of a raised to m. This is our expression with rational exponent or fractional exponent, and this is our radical or radical expression. We also learned how to write expressions with rational exponents as radicals, and vice versa. From exponential form to radical form or from radical form to exponential form. Example, we have expression a raised to 3 over 5. Bago natin i-write into radical form, alamin muna natin yung mga parts niya. Ang a ay tinatawag nating base at yung 3 over 5, yun naman ay tinatawag nating exponent. So, isulat natin into radical form. Remember, yung ating numerator, ito yung ating magiging exponent at yung ating denominator, yun yung ating magiging index or order. In radical form, this is equal to 5th root of a cube. Yung ating numerator, siya yung naging exponent. Yung denominator nung ating exponent, siya yung naging index. Sa radical form, itong 5 ay tinatawag nating index. Yung a cube naman ay tinatawag nating radicand. At yung 3, yun yung ating exponent. Ngayon naman, from radical form, isusulat natin into exponential form. Example, square root of a. So, tulad ng ginawa natin kanina, yung index natin, siya yung magiging denominator, at yung exponent, siya yung magiging numerator ng ating exponent. Pag wala tayong nakikitang number or index dito, ibig sabihin yun ay 2. At kung wala rin tayong nakikitang exponent dito, ibig sabihin yun ay 1. So, in exponential form, this is equal to a raised to 1/2. So, yung ating 1 galing sa exponent ni a, yung 2 na denominator, yun yung ating index dito. Let us have the laws of radicals. Meron tayong 4 na laws of radicals. So, yung laws of radicals natin, na-derive ito from the laws of exponent. Our first law is the nth root of a to the power n is a. In symbol, we have the nth root of a raised to n is equal to the quantity of nth root of a raised to n equals a. So, kung meron tayong parehas na index at exponent, ito ay mag-i-equal doon sa ating base na nasa loob ng ating radical symbol. So, nth root of a raised to n, so, makakancel yung index natin at saka yung exponent, ang may iwan na lang yung a natin. So, the same pag ganito ang form. So, meron tayong quantity dito. Meron tayong radical sa loob at exponent sa labas. Kapag parehas yung index at exponent, mag-i-equal siya doon sa nasa loob ng ating radical symbol. Paano ba na-derive ang ating first law? Okay, so, ang ating una ay nth root of a raised to n. So, paano ba siya naging equal sa a? So, una, itatransform natin itong nth root of a raised to n sa exponential form. Ito ay equal sa a raised to n over n. So, yung n natin na exponent ng a, yun yung numerator. Yung index natin, siya yung denominator. So, this is a raised to n over n. I-simplify natin yung exponent. So, n over n is equal to 1. Kaya meron tayong a raised to 1. Then, simplify. A raised to 1 is equal to a. So, any number raised to 1 is equal to itself. Okay, yung pangalawa naman, yung nth root of a raised to n. So, tulad ng ginawa natin kanina, transform natin yung radical expression to exponential form. So, ito ay magiging equal sa a raised to 1 over n raised to n. So, ito muna yung ating itatransform. So, ang base natin is a. Ang exponent niya is 1, yun yung numerator. Ang index is n. So, siya yung denominator. And then, meron din tayong exponent dito sa labas. Let's apply the power of a power. So, multiply natin yung 1 over n sa n. This is equal to a raised to n over n. So, we have 1 times n. This is equal to n. Meron tayong denominator na 1 dito. So, we have n times 1. That is n. Then, simplify. We have a raised to 1. So, n over n is 1. And a raised to 1 is equal to a. So, ganun na-derive yung ating first law. Let us have examples. Let's simplify the given expressions using the first law of radicals. Number 1, cube root of 7 cube. Okay, so para ma-simplify natin, tingnan natin kung parehas yung index at saka yung kanyang exponent. Kung parehas ang index at exponent, mag-i-equal siya dito sa ating base na 7. Parehas yung ating index tsaka yung exponent, which is 3. So, ang ating magiging answer is 7. Number 2, square root of 81. So, ang square root of 81 ay equal sa square root of 9 squared. So, paano nakuha yung 9 squared? 9 squared is 9 times 9, which is equal to 81. So, meron tayong index dito na 2 at exponent na 2. Therefore, makakancel yung ating radical symbol and tsaka yung ating exponent, which is equal now to 9. Number 3, fourth root of 16. Ang fourth root of 16 ay equal sa fourth root of 2 raised to 4. So, 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8, and times 2 is 16. So, parehas yung index tsaka exponent, therefore, mag-i-equal siya sa base na 2. This is equal to 2. Let us have another law on radicals. We have the nth root of AB is the product of the nth root of A and the nth root of B. In symbol, we have the nth root of A times B is equal to the nth root of A times the nth root of B. Okay, so paano na-derive yung ating law? So, una, transform natin yung nth root of AB into exponential form. So, this is equal to the quantity of A times B raised to 1 over n. So, yun yung ating base. Yung exponent niya is 1. So, we have the numerator 1. Ang index ay n. So, yun yung ating denominator. After that, apply natin yung power of a product. So, yung exponent ng A, imumultiply natin dito sa exponent sa labas at yung exponent ni B, imumultiply natin dito sa 1 over n. We now have A raised to 1 times 1 over n is 1 over n times B, 1 times 1 over n is equal to 1 over n. And then, transform naman natin itong exponential form into radical form. Ang a raised to 1 over n is equal to nth root of a. So, yung denominator, siya yung naging index, and then yung exponent ng a, yun yung numerator na 1. Times, b raised to 1 over n is equal to nth root of b. So, yung n natin, yun yung index. Yung 1, yun yung magiging exponent ng ating base na b. Okay, so, from the laws of exponents, na-derive natin itong second law of radicals. Let us have examples. Let's simplify the following expressions using the second law of radicals. Okay, number 1 is square root of 27. Okay, so ang 27 ay hindi perfect square. Isip tayo ng factors ng 27 na mayroong perfect square. So, we have square root of 9 times square root of 3. So, 9 is a perfect square. So, 9 times 3 is 27. And then, square root of 9 is equal to 3. Square root of 3. So, dito sa ating unang factor, square root of 9. So, we have 3. So, mawawala na yung ating radical symbol. And then, square root of 3. So, hindi na natin ito masisimplify. So, we have square root of 3. Square root of 27 equals 3 square root of 3. Number 2, square root of 125. So, isip tayo ng factors ng 125 na mayroong perfect square. That is 25 and 5. 25 times 5 is equal to 125. So, yung 25 is a perfect square. Square root of 25 is 5 times square root of 5 is equal to 5 square root of 5. Number 3, cube root of 16 times x raised to 5. Okay, so meron tayo ditong numerical, coefficient, at saka variables. Okay, so isip tayo ng factors ng 16 na merong perfect cube, that is 8 times 2. Okay, so ang 8 ay mayroon siyang cube root. And then, yung x raised to 5, okay, transform natin dito as x cube times x square. So, dahil ang ating index ay 3, so, ang exponent ng ating isang variable ay 3, and then, ito naman 2 na lang. Okay, so, equal to sa x cube times x square ay equal sa x to the 5th. So, parehas yung base. Pag pinag-add natin yung exponent, yun yung ating lalabas. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. Okay. And then, alam natin na ang 8 ay equal sa 2 cube. 2 times 2, 4 times 2 ay 8. Okay. And then, paghiwalayin natin yung merong perfect nth root. Ito. So, since ang index natin is 3, so, pagsasamahin natin yung may exponent na 3. Okay. So, we have the cube root of 2 cube times x cube times the cube root of 2 times x squared. So, nakahiwala yung may mga exponent na 3 sa mga hindi 3 ang exponent. Okay, let's simplify. So, kung ang index at saka exponent ay parehas, ang kukunin na lang natin ay yung mga base. So, we have 2 times x, that is 2x. And then, kokopyahin natin itong mga nakahiwalay. Cube root of 2x squared. Okay, let us have another law of radicals. The mth root of the nth root of a is the mnth root of a. So, in symbol, we have the mth root of the nth root of a is equal to the mnth root of A. Ayan. So, meron na tayo ditong dalawang radical symbol. Ang ginawa, pinag-multiply yung kanilang mga indices. So, m times nth root of A. So, paano na-derive itong law na to? So, una, transform natin itong radical expression into exponential form. So, unahin natin yung mth root. So, this is equal to nth root of A raised to 1 over M. So, ang exponent dito is 1. Ang ating index ay M, so siya yung naging denominator. And then next, i-transform naman natin itong nth root of A to exponential form. That is equal to A raised to 1 over N. So, ang exponent ni A is 1. Ang kanyang index ay N. Raised to 1 over M. And then, apply natin yung power of a power. So, pag-multiplyin natin yung mga exponent. So, we have A raised to 1 over M times N. So, 1 times 1, that is 1. N times M is equal to Mn. And then, transform natin itong exponential expression to radical form. So, itong Mn na denominator, siya yung magiging index, yung 1 yung magiging exponent ng A. This is equal to mnth root of A. Okay, so ganun na-derive yung ating third law. Okay, let us have examples using the third law of radicals. Okay, number 1, 6 root of 25. So, apply natin yung third law. So, isip tayo ng factors ng 6. So, that is 3 times 2. So, we have the cube root of square root of 25. So, meron tayong makukuhang square root ng 25. So, this is equal to the cube root of square root of 5 squared. So, ang 25 ay equal sa 5 square. And then, apply natin yung first law. So, parehas yung index at saka yung exponent. So, mag-i-equal siya doon sa ating base na 5. So, our answer is the cube root of 5. Number 2, the 12th root of 8. So, apply natin yung third law. So, ang ating index na 12, so pwedeng gawin natin 4th root of cube root. So, 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, cube root of 8. Yung cube root of 8 ay pwede nating isimplify. Okay, so we have the 4th root of cube root of 2 cube. So, ang 8 ay equal sa 2 cube. Parehas yung index, tsaka parehas yung exponent. So, may iwan yung base na 2. So, the answer is the 4th root of 2. Number 3, the 20th root of 49. Okay, so meron tayong index na 20. Pwede natin siyang gawing 10th root of square root. So, 10 times 2, that is 20. So, square root of 49. So, we have the 10th root of square root of 7 squared. So, parehas yung index, tsaka exponent. So, makakancel. Ang may iwan is 7 na base. So, we have 10th root of 7. Okay, let us have the fourth law of radicals. We have the nth root of A over the nth root of B is the nth root of A over B. In symbols, so we have nth root of A over nth root of B is equal to the nth root of A over B. Okay, so paano na-derive itong law na ito? Okay, una i-transform natin itong radical expression to exponential form. Okay, so we have nth root of A, so equal yan sa A raised to 1 over N. So, ang exponent ni A is 1, numerator, and then exponent, ang ating index ay N. So, we have the denominator N. Nth root of b is equal to b raised to 1 over n. So, we have 1 exponent and then index na n. So, yun ang ating naging denominator. Okay, next, we have to apply the power of a quotient. So, parehas yung ating exponent dito sa numerator at denominator. So, we have the quantity of a over b raised to 1 over n. And then, transform natin itong exponential expression na to into radical form. So, we have nth root of a over b. So, yung ating denominator na n, siya yung naging index. Yung ating base dito, siya yung naging radicand, yung nasa loob ng ating radical symbol. Okay, ang exponent ay 1. So, ganun na-derive yung ating pang-last na law of radicals. Let us have examples. Let's simplify using the fourth law of radicals. Number 1, cube root of 128 over cube root of 2. Okay, so this is equal to cube root of 128 over 2. So, since parehas yung kanilang mga index. Okay, then simplify, we have 128 over 2 is equal to 64. So, we have cube root of 64. Okay, so, ang 64 ay equals siya sa 4 cube. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4 is 64. Okay, so, apply natin yung first law. So, parehas yung kanilang index at saka exponent. So, ang maiiwan yung 4. The answer is 4. Number 2, we have the square root of 49 over x to the 4th. Okay, so, ang ating numerator ay numerical, yung ating denominator ay variable. So, paghiwalayin natin, we have the square root of 49 over square root of x to the 4th. Ang square root of 49 ay equal siya sa square root of 7 squared. So, 7 squared, 7 times 7 is 49. And then, x to the 4th, so we have x squared raised to 2. So, since ang index natin is 2, so we have the exponent 2. And then, 2 times 2, 4. So, yun yung exponent ng ating x. Simplify, applying the first law. Okay, so, parehas yung index tsaka exponent. So, makakancel. Ang maiiwan ay 7. The same dito. Ang index ay 2. Ang exponent ay 2. So, makakancel. Ang maiiwan yung x squared. Our answer is 7 over x squared. Number 3, square root of 64 over 25. Okay, so 64 over 25 ay hindi natin masisimplify. So, paghiwalayin natin, square root of 64 over square root of 25. Square root of 64 ay equal sa square root of 8 squared. At yung square root of 25 ay equal siya sa square root of 5 squared. Okay, pwede na nating isimplify. So, parehas yung index and exponent. So, ang maiiwan is 8. Dito din, ang maiiwan naman ay 5. So, we have the answer 8 over 5. Okay, that's the end of our tutorial. Before I end this video, I would like to say a simple quotation. Strive for progress, not perfection. Okay, thank you so much. Keep safe and have a great day.